Today, I have the distinct honor and privilege of bringing you a good friend. Her name is Denise Brown, and she is an amazing realtor. And also, she has turned her pain into power, and created Brooke's Butterfly Bash to honor her daughter. Denise, how are you doing today?
I am doing okay. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, just a little bit of growing up, kind of.
Okay, well, I was born in Tripoli, Libya, Africa.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
My dad was Air Force. That's another story. I've been in Tampa Bay over 30 years. I've been doing real estate now for over 12 years. And I have had a tragedy in my life, losing my daughter, Brooke. I lost her a little over 4 years ago. And her illness was over 6 years, and she passed away from complications of lupus. And with that, all this time and in and out of the hospital, her goal and passion, she wanted to be a pediatric nurse and help children. That's just the way this young lady was. And she wasn't able to fulfill that dream because she passed away at 18. So I am doing pediatric lupus awareness, and in her memory, creating a legacy for her, trying to work on finding children in this community of our own in Tampa Bay and helping them and their families in memory of Brooke, because that's what she wanted to do, was to help people, help children. So this Brooke's Butterfly Bash has just blossomed. I've been so grateful for a lot of the community support and a lot of big players. I have raised a lot of awareness and a lot of funds at this point. I am partnering up with the Lupus Foundation of America, the Florida chapter, because they focus on pediatric research. They've been wonderful. They've been sharing with me a lot of the updates. And for me, that is very important because I want to help find better medications. I know that my daughter really struggled with that, and the side effects were horrible.
Can you let our listeners know a little bit more about lupus? Like, what is it? How does it affect the body? Where?
Very good. It's an unknown mystery disease. It's an autoimmune situation, and lupus has so many different factors and so many different levels. There's the biggest characteristic is what's called the butterfly rash, and people tend to get that exterior situation. And that's where the lupus logo butterfly came into play. But it is an immune deficiency situation. It's basically your organs are fighting itself. Your body attacks itself. My daughter was going through some blood issues where the white blood count was really high. Her hemoglobin was all over the place. Your kidneys get affected. You have a lot of rheumatoid arthritis that gets involved. There's so many factors. My daughter also had APS, which was antiphospholipid syndrome. Say that 3 times. Antiphospholipid syndrome, which is connected to lupus. So again, there's so many different things, and everybody seems to have different stories. So creating this Butterfly Bash, I'm hearing a lot of different stories, and the awareness is coming to me and learning more about it. So to tell you about lupus, it's one of those things that's not in the dictionary, you know. So as I've been talking to people, learning their stories, researching, talking with the Lupus Foundation, I'm learning more too. It's
some of the antibiotics that they put her on, they had horrible side effects, and they were just.
It was a medication, and I can't remember what the name
antibiotics medication.
It's not antibiotics, but there's not a lot of known medications for this. It is not a curable disease, at least not right now. It is not necessarily a fatal situation, and it's not necessarily a kid affected. People are normally diagnosed between the ages of 15 and 45. It's normally women, and it's normally the African-American women. So figure that out, how she got it. How did she get it? You know, I just kind of research, think how did she get it? Well, she was diagnosed with the antiphospholipid syndrome at 13, which because she had a blood clot and stroked at 12. And how did she get that? Well, back when she was 10, she had a very severe case of mono. Well, she's in 5th grade. How does a kid get mono? Sharing a drinking fountain, sharing a juice box. Our environment is what one of the doctors said, is because lupus is not necessarily in our genetics.
So it was brought in a sense.
Well, it's so complicated, and that's why I think what I'm doing is so important, to get that information out there, to learn more about it, so these people aren't suffering with the fatigue and the aches and the pains and the depression, you know. And then one of the features for some of these people, like my daughter, she looked amazing. She was very self-conscious about her health and trying to stay fit, and she looked beautiful. She didn't have the rash.
Gorgeous.
So a lot of times people don't know the reality of what these people are going through, what these children are going through, because it might not appear it. And so that really plays a lot on one's psyche. And it did for her too. So there's a lot of things that we still need to learn. And please understand, if somebody has an immune deficiency disease and they might not look it, be nice, be kind.
That's a good point. Kindness is what we need in the world this day and age.
Just don't know what people are.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend in college who had lupus, and smart as a whip. Oh my gosh, this girl was so smart. She was our valedictorian when she could be there. And that was the issue, because halfway through the year, she had a flare up and she was out. And she had to do everything from home. She still made it work, and she still ended up bringing in this amazing, beautiful project that we needed for class. And I'm just sitting there, you've been gone. And she's like, I get better for like an hour, and all I would do is work. And then I would get better for an hour, and all I would do is work. And I'm like, God bless you. You know, you're really, and she's like, there's nothing else I can do. There's no answer for this.
Yeah, right. There's not, and we need to.
And that was 20 plus years ago. That was 20 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. And it's come so far. And I got to tell you, because of what I am doing, I'm finding more and more stories like this. And when I did my butterfly bash in 2021, even though it was COVID, we sold out at 100 tickets. I asked the audience how many people have lupus or know somebody who has lupus. Few people, maybe 4, if I remember, 4 or 5 people raised their hands out of 100. This last year I did it in 2022, and we had a couple hundred people there, which was fantastic. There were so many people that raised their hands when I asked that question again. And to me, that says it's working. It says the message is getting out. People need to learn more about it and come out with it. So, you know, and don't be embarrassed about it. Don't be shy about it. Don't be too depressed about it. We're here to understand, learn, develop, and help.
On that note, you're dealing with the pediatric side of it now, and you're helping in that way. What are some other stories that you've heard, or what could you tell a mom who might be suffering with this, or not knowing what her daughter has, and how to help?
Research and get those doctors to listen to you. It's so frustrating with a couple situations that we personally went through where they didn't listen to me, and I knew my daughter.
One of those stories.
Yeah, you've got to be proactive with these doctors. You've got to go. I mean, Moffitt, John Hopkins, obviously Tampa General Hospital, their department, their pediatrics there for me were fantastic. The nurses were great, but you have to stay on top of it and ask questions and ask questions and ask your child questions. And that's the most important key that I can suggest.
So dealing with the children, and do the children have the same likelihood of getting the butterfly, or is that more for the older people?
I can't answer that question.
Oh, no. Okay. It was just one of those things. I'm like, I'm thinking about hormones and stuff, and maybe it has more to do with hormones at that age. And so I was wondering if there was any kind of correlation of them not having it.
Very, very, very strong question, because when Brooke went through her situation, she was diagnosed at 15 with the lupus, and that is when she when she matured. So when she matured, things really got out of control. So that's a really good point.
Hormones probably do play a part.
It's got to. It's a very good question. It makes sense. Yeah.
I'm a nerd. Don't mind me. I research everything. So I'm always looking into this. And, I know that right now you have a book signing coming up. So can you tell us a little bit about this book? That's absolutely amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Brookie, for how young she was way beyond her age, emotionally, mentally, just her thought process, her art talent. This particular book, she created this elephant, and I thought it was so wonderful. And my sister is a commercial artist, so I said, send it to Aunt Desi. And my sister kind of took it to the next level, and she knew the author here, Michael. And she said, look at this. And he was about to write this children's ABC book, and he hired Brooke to do the whole alphabet. And when she would create a critter, she would send it to him, and then he would write the poem. So the beautiful thing is that, we have this whole book about it. It was dedicated to Brooke. It is on Amazon. All the proceeds do go to my foundation. But we are going to be doing a book signing. I'm flying the author in on July 16th. It's going to be held at Michael Murphy's Art Gallery. Thanks to Michael. He did know my daughter, and this has really been a wonderful support with him. And so it's going to be a beautiful event, July 16th from 6 to 9. I have the author coming out, Maserati coming out, Mont Blanc being a part of it, who's on my committee, Diamond's director's on my committee. We're going to have elegant hors d'oeuvres, a violinist, of course, meeting the author and listening to his story, seeing Brooke's artwork on one of the walls that will be for sale. So there's a lot of cool things going to be happening in July at the gallery, and would love for everybody to come on out.
Well, this is more of a national broadcast, so I want to make sure that people know that we're talking about, we live in Tampa, Florida. And so in Tampa, there's an art gallery that is going to be showing her beautiful, incredible artwork, and also the illustrations that she did for a book. And she finished the book, didn't she?
She didn't get to finish the last 3 letters. She ended up passing. So my sister took that on and finished the last 3 letters. And then you can see like the zebra.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely beautiful. Definitely different. Oh, I see what okay, very cool.
Yeah, the mosaic, type of pattern. Yeah. And so she carried that pattern in all of her drawings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was just very, very talented. And I didn't realize this was a national broadcast, but it is purchasable on Amazon.
We'll make sure to put the link in there so that apes, bears, and cats. That's so cute. Okay, we're going to definitely make sure to put the link in there so that people can purchase the beautiful book and be able to support you. When we talk about turning our pain into power, it's kind of hard because a lot of people don't understand exactly what it takes to become successful at what you're doing and the passion that goes behind it. In your case, the passion is your beautiful, incredible daughter. But when you first got started, did you find roadblocks?
Yeah, I've participated on committee before. And so I had a taste of putting an event together. But never creating something like this. A lot of stumbling and just trial and error, and the emotion for me is what really got me blocked is the emotion of it and using this as my therapy. It's only been 4.5 years, so I've just stumbled and asked for a lot of help. Learning from people who have done this themselves, not at this degree or this particular loss. But I've just asked for a lot of help. And like I say, considering the short time that I've been doing this, I've been very pleased that I have a lot of powerful people loving me and what Brooke has represented and what we're doing. So just asking for the help and being sincere, being legit. Now that I have Tampa General Hospital as my partner as well, we just created the fund for Brooke, supporting them financially so we can financially help the families. But it just gives you legitimacy, and when it's really true to your heart, it's not that hard, you know? So
yeah,
it's
my heart, true to my heart is to help with human trafficking. So I'm looking to start doing something very similar, where putting together fundraisers and things like that. I know that there's a need for a home here in Tampa, a really big need. And so that would be one of those things that I would love to be able to put together. And that's where my passion lies, is trying to help with ending human trafficking. And that's why I was like, did you see a lot of roadblocks? Because when people start going into this world, because this is dealing with 501(c)(3)s and all of that, it's a different arena, and you have to work in a different way. What would be your best advice that you would give somebody who decides to go that route?
Well, my best advice is educating yourself. For me, I'm using myself as an example. I mean, when I first started this, I didn't know what to do or how to do it. So I connected with the Lupus Foundation of America. I wrote on their 501(c) for the first few years. I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know where I was going with it. So I utilized that partnership, and everything just went directly to them, fund-wise, everything that I've raised. And I probably sent them over, probably close to $40,000 at this point. So then when I see that happening, I'm going, okay, I want to have better control. I want to be able to destiny where the funds go. I need to make myself the nonprofit. So it's not that hard to fill out the paperwork, get a good CPA and a bookkeeper. So you do everything legitimately, and you don't get tax implications, and you don't get, yourself in trouble with the IRS. And so again, just filling out the paperwork and getting that 501(c) is really a lot easier than I had anticipated. I just got my bookkeeper to help me, and we did it online. Understanding if you make certain amount of money or raising certain amount of money, you have, if you raise over 50,000, you're into another category. And that's going to be my next step, because the way that my last couple of years, things have been kind of chopped up. So, I mean, we're going big. I want to get Selena Gomez 2024.
I love it.
Yes.
I definitely want to make sure that other people might be interested in learning more about how they can help support you. And so we'll make sure that your link is there for that. And also possibly doing something to connect with you in your 501(c) in their area. I've seen some people who, they see it. No, like I always say, everybody's story is somebody else's lifeline. And when you start to tell stories that are so powerful, hopefully it is going to be a lifeline to somebody else that can reach back out, and you guys can form a partnership or something and, grow it even bigger. So that would be my ultimate goal on that. I know that you do real estate, and you are a rock star realtor, and now you're bringing your butterfly bash into it. So how are you doing that?
Well, it's marketing and talking about it, because with my real estate business, I've been doing, like I said, real estate for a long time, and I'm here with Keller Williams in St. Pete. I love my business. I love my real estate. And just as I talk to everybody every day, I don't have it on today, but I usually have my lupus awareness wristband, and people ask me about it. And I do give a portion of my commissions to now my own foundation. So I'm blending it. I'm a realtor with a purpose. I ask people, ask me what my purpose is, and that's how I'm blending it. And hopefully people will see that, and with this crazy market that we're in right now, that they'll respect the fact that I'm a little different than the average realtor out there, and I have a purpose. I mean, not like they know, that didn't sound right. Everybody has a purpose, but
it's okay. You can brag.
different.
I mean, you can talk about it. You've taken your passion. I mean, you have really turned your purpose into something huge. I mean, you've got Maserati, you've got Mont Blanc, you've got all of these other companies that are helping you, along with Tampa, you know, a hospital now.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing what you have done and what you have accomplished. And so be proud of that. It's extremely powerful. And I know that every day can't be easy. It's got to be hard because you're constantly walking back into what happened, and how you're handling it is breathtakingly beautiful.
Thank you.
I understand.
Yeah, there's the hard days and bad days and really bad days. But I just have to keep focused, because I know that's what she would want. And there's just a lot of people out there that could use some support and love, and not necessarily the financial support that we're offering, but knowing that they're not alone.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one, when you know you're not alone, and that you have you started a Facebook group or anything?
I have two social medias. I have Facebook, it's Brooke's Butterfly Bash. I mean, if anybody just even Googles Brooke's Butterfly Bash, I'm so proud, because my Instagram comes up, my Facebook comes up, and it's all about lupus awareness. It's all about Brooke. It's all about sharing life and sharing stories. And I actually had a family find me, a father found me, and he told me his story about his daughter being sick since she was 19 now. She was at Tampa General, and he said, I just don't want her to be alone. So this was a fantastic moment for me. So I met the girl. I spent a long time with her, with a giant teddy bear and with the mask, of course, and just wanted her to know she wasn't alone. And I got to hear her story and what her goals are, and wanting to be a cosmetologist. And my last butterfly bash, it was the night before. And I got to tell you the story, because I had this, sometimes I just get these epiphanies. And I was thinking about her. Her name is Therese. And I said, you know what? I texted her and I said, get your TV makeup on. I'm going to call you tomorrow between 7 and 7:15. This was during my event. So I'm talking to my audience. I'm sharing with them the great news. I'm my own 501(c) now in Tampa General, and meeting this family, and da 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 da. I get my husband to get her on FaceTime, and I'm talking to her with the microphone, just saying, how are you, da da da. And remember when I said, you will never be alone. And we put the phone up to the audience, and the crowd went crazy cheering for her.
That's amazing.
It really, really was. I'm getting goosebumps every time I say this story.
So,
and yeah, it was just a really touching moment. And to me, this is what it's all about, you know. So there you go. It's working.
Absolutely amazing. Oh,
right? I know.
So sweet.
Yeah, so I keep in touch with her, sent her one of her books, and yeah, it's been very rewarding, and my heart is really mending.
Well, I'm thankful for you to come on today and talk about your beautiful daughter. Brooke is absolutely stunning, and I know that she is looking down and extremely proud of you, because you have taken everything that she has dreamed about and you're putting it into reality, including her artwork. And so that's truly a blessing, and you are an inspiration for all moms. And I'm so thankful that you were able to come on with me today, and we could have this conversation. And I hope you have an amazing day.
I will. I'm going to have an amazing day. This just really warms my heart that you allowed me on and asked me on. And it's a pleasure. It's awesome. And thanks to people like you, you're helping me get this message out. So if anybody needs to reach out to me, like I said, just Google Brooke's Butterfly Bash, you'll find me.
Oh, we'll also make sure it's in the show notes because this will be on iTunes and YouTube and some other places too. So we'll
Oh
make
my
sure
God,
it's
you're
all.
that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll make sure it's all in show notes and they will be able to find you. And yes, so it's Brooke's Butterfly Bash. And thank you again. This is another episode of Unstoppable Angels, and I am your host, Michelle Van Etten. Until next time, bye.